Disclaimer. None of the songs, including intro, artworks, including thumbnail, or characters in the video are mine. This is not an accurate portrayal of the characters. This is not a defamation of character either. This is only for entertainment. Warning. Foul language, grammatical mistakes, typographical errors. Papa. As soon as he heard the door open, Kevin excitedly launched himself like a slingshot towards its direction, and landed exactly on his father's face. And with the momentum, the force, the acceleration, the speed, and whatever else that helped Kevin rocket through the air, Atsumu's whimper of pain was understandable. Unfortunately, no one heard him as his mouth is still currently muffled by Kevin. Atsumu pulled the lava blob off his face and gave him a pained smile, which Kevin ignored as he started bouncing in excitement when he saw his other father. Dada. Oh wow, okay. I see how it is. Kevin ignored him and just kept wriggling his body so he could escape and launch himself again. But this time, towards Shintaro. So this is how betrayal feels like. Shintaro laughed at Atsumu, gaining him a glare from the blonde. And Atsumu, as petty as always, yeeted Kevin towards Shintaro. The loud smack that everyone heard when Kevin landed on Shintaro's face made them wince. Dada. I missed you. But hey, what's a little bit of pain in front of Kevin's happiness? A click. Then a sudden flash blinded the weird family of three. Okari. Toru greeted, waving the phone he used to take a picture of the three. As Tiger came trotting slowly with a small meow, Atsumu couldn't help but smile wide and bright. Tadama. He truly is home. Something's missing though, Atsumu thought to himself as he reminded himself to introduce Osamu to his son. A little while later, Tiger arrived to join the fray. The scene that greeted him when he arrived was both surprising and not at all. Surprising because it was snowing inside the house. And no, he doesn't mean that the floor of the house is covered with snow. What he means is the floor of the house is covered with snow and that snow is falling from the ceiling. Some fucking how. He could almost hear the small sassy voice in his head he calls his common sense say, it's not real, the snow. It's just bewitched to look like that. I've read about it. In Get a Grip stupid. That's not even remotely possible. But alas, reality is but a social construct only when it's inconvenient. Which is why Tiger didn't do anything but shiver slightly when snow fell on his neck and he actually felt it. Proving that it is actually snowing inside. What doesn't surprise Tiger however, is the sight of Atsumu and Shintaro kneeling shamefully on the floor that's now blanketed by snow as Toru lectures them. Of course those two has something to do with this. I bet this all started with them entering the kitchen. Reality is nothing in the face of Atsumu and Shintaro's cooking after all. This time, nothing got sent on fire, a miracle, or even came alive. That's debatable. Instead, the two tried to for some reason which Tiger doesn't understand because it's freezing make some ice. So the two went to fill in the ice tray and put it in the freezer then left. Absolutely normal and nothing that could cause what's happening right now. But this is Atsumu and Shintaro they're talking about, and Murphy's Law is the only law that's being followed whenever they step into a kitchen. As soon as they left, the ice started creeping from the freezer until it overtook the kitchen and no one noticed because they were all in the living room watching Care Bears of all things. Then snow started to fall from the ceiling. And now they are here. To be honest, they should just be thankful that they didn't accidentally create Olaf or something. Tiger sighed as he went closer to drape his coat on Toru's shoulders as the older redhead sent the two still kneeling on the floor scathing looks. He looked away because if he didn't, he'd laugh and earn Toru's ire. Well, at least someone's having fun. He thought to himself as he caught sight of Kevin bouncing from snow to create puddles, giggling all the while ignoring his parents' misery. So hey, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. What do you guys want to do? Atsumu asked through a mouthful of pizza. Since the kitchen is still inaccessible due to the ice and snow, they decided to just order takeout. The look on the delivery man's face when he saw the snow-filled floor of the house was hilarious, and Toru would have laughed in his face if he wasn't so irritated at the thought of cleaning it all up. Toru shrugged. What are we supposed to do? We're all single here. Or are we? Atsumu sent a smirk towards Shintaro, who tilted his head in confusion. Tell me Ruru, do you have someone? Like officially or someone you're planning on asking out? Shintaro blinked. Then as if he processed the question, he turned red, looking like a literal tomato. Oh ho 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 there is. Isn't there? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Come on, Ruru. I wanna know. Atsumu whined like a child. It was partly an act and partly true. There's just this feeling inside him. This strong urge for him to know if there is someone Shintaro's interested in. It's just curiosity. Just curiosity. We're friends after all. It's only normal for me to be curious. But it was a bit hard to convince himself when there's this throbbing sensation in his chest that threatens to choke him at the thought of Shintaro actually being interested in someone. There's no one, Atsumu-san. Shintaro looked away from the blonde's dangerous puppy eyes, his face still red. Atsumu pouted, but he couldn't help but feel guilty at how his entire body relaxed at Shintaro's answer. Even if they do have someone, Atsumu. Which Toru narrowed his eyes on Tiger with suspicion. That still doesn't change the fact that we don't. So we still won't have anything to do and I'll be stuck here with only you. What's that supposed to mean? Babe, I love you but I'm sick of your face. Well, I'm sicker of your face. I'm sickest of your face. I'm more sickest of your face. I'm most sickest of your face. Well, I'm most sickester of your face. That's not even a real word. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Just like Valentine's Day because we're as single as the day we were born. Fuck you. I had a double when I was born. Well, sucks to suck.
Meanwhile, one eternity later.
Okay, so you get what I mean. We're all single here and I don't want to be surrounded by sappy couples everywhere, so it's not like we have anything we can do without being annoyed. True. Atsumu replied, nibbling on his pizza. Shintaro and Tiger are having whiplash at the sudden mood change. Maybe we can go to a bar and find replacements for the extra baggage we just lost. He wiggled his eyebrows up and down. There won't be many couples there because who in their right mind would have a date in a bar? Toru laughed. At least they can joke about it now. You mean one night stands? Atsumu gasped dramatically, even dropping his pizza back in the box to cover a blushing Shintaro's ears. Koa, get your mind out of the gutter. There are children present. Toru sent him a deadpan look. Aren't you supposed to be covering Kevin's ears? Atsumu released Shintaro and lifted Kevin up to his face, giving his son a pointed look which the lava just giggled at. Kevin, baby, my darling baby boy, honey bunch sugar plum pumpy umpy umpkin, my adorable little undercooked burnt pancake. I love you but I have no idea where your ears are. A pop, a sizzle, and suddenly there were ears on the side of Kevin's head, body, on the side of Kevin. Atsumu slowly moved his eyes to them, then he made eye contact with Toru, his hands moving to cover the newly grown ears, never taking his eyes off of Toru's. Wow, truly the greatest parent on the face of the earth. I'm sure covering his ears now has an effect. I'm not the one talking about such filthy things around young ears. You're the one who brought up the topic. I was talking about dates, you heathen. Yeah, but you were thinking about something entirely different. No, you were thinking about something else. Not everyone has a mind as dirty as yours. Not everyone does, but you surely do. Gasp. How dare you accuse me of such atrocious things? I am an upstanding citizen. Toru rolled his eyes and continued eating as Atsumu continued his rant about his morality, or what he pretends he has. Did you just say the word gasp? Everyone failed to notice that a blush appeared, and never left Tiger's face as soon as Valentine's Day was mentioned. Since the three just came from their own training camps, they decided to go to bed early since they were all still exhausted, especially after the chaos caused by Atsumu and Shintaro's otherworldly kitchen skills. Thankfully, the snow didn't fall that long. They didn't have to do much cleanup as well since Kevin helped. Kevin's heat not only melted the snow but also evaporated the water. Kevin truly was sent from the heavens to save the world from his parents' cooking. Toru thought in amusement, not noticing the blonde waking towards him. Koa. Toru rolled his eyes at his best friend's pout. Atsumu has been sending him puppy dog eyes since after the lecture he and Shintaro got for stepping in the kitchen. The green-haired male was also trying to calm Toru down by doing him small favors like handing him a glass of water and such, all the while having a constipated look on his face. Tiger was just having the time of his life watching Shintaro suffer. Atsumu sat down slowly, still with a pout on his face, but Toru just ignored him and continued to fix the bed. You okay? Toru jumped slightly in surprise at the sudden sound. You know you can talk to me, right? He huffed out a laugh. He should have known Atsumu would sense something was off. It's just that the mention of Valentine's Day came with the realization that this is the first time he'll spend it alone. Ever since he could remember, he always spent it with Hajime. Even before they got together, even before he knew what love was, he always spent it with Hajime. They spent their first Valentines together and he always thought he'd spend their lasts together as well. A bitter chuckle left his lips when he remembered his first Valentine. Flashback. Toru never knew what the hearts decorating the hallways of their school was for. He only knew they did it once a year and that classes are mostly stopped in favor of making decorations. So when he received chocolates in a heart-shaped box, he only said thank you to the girl, not knowing its significance. Then another girl came and gave him another box of chocolates, and Toru only said thank you again, happy at the gifts. Then another one came and he grew confused. Why are they giving me chocolates? He gasped. Oh no, were we supposed to bring chocolates? The boy was panicking. He thought he missed his teacher's instructions. So when another girl came with a familiar heart-shaped box, Toru asked her, "It's Valentine's Day. We're supposed to give chocolates to people we like." The girl blushed as she looked at Toru shyly, but he didn't notice since he's panicking again. For another reason this time. Oh no, I have to give chocolates to Iwa-chan or else he'll cry because he thinks I don't like him anymore. Toru left the other girl in his panic before remembering he hasn't said thank you yet. So just as quickly, he went back and bowed so aggressively that the girl jumped in surprise. Thank you. And off he went, not waiting for the girl's response, or for her to recover from the shock. Maybe the cafeteria sells chocolates. Before he could reach the cafeteria though, his best friend came around the corner looking pissed. Oikoa, is he angry because I didn't give him chocolates? In his haste to appease the other boy, Toru immediately offered the chocolates he just received. Hajime just accepted the chocolate in confusion. Thank you. Toru breathed a sigh of relief, then immediately offered his hand to Hajime, receiving another confused look. Where's my chocolate, Iwa-chan? What chocolates? Toru felt his heart drop as he started tearing up. You didn't get me chocolates? Do you not like me anymore? UUUWAA. Of course I like you. What are you talking about? Hajime unconsciously raised his voice as he tried to make Toru stop crying. He may be used to his best friend's crybaby ways, but it doesn't mean he's okay with seeing the other cry. The girl said that since it's Valentine's Day, we should give chocolates to the people we like. And Iwa-chan is my best friend, which means I like you the most. Hajime looked away with a blush while breathing a sigh of relief as the other stopped crying. Bakakoa. Iwa-chan, that's mean. Toru pouted. Hajime rolled his eyes at his best friend's whining, but still helped Toru wipe his tears away. Only girls are supposed to give chocolates on Valentine's Day. Oh. Besides, you should only give chocolates to people you really like. Toru tilted his head in confusion, pout still firmly on his face. But I really do like you, even if you are a meanie. Hajime blushed, ignoring the latter statement. I mean someone you like. Oh, you mean a crush? Yes. Toru hummed, thinking back to all the girls who gave him chocolates. Don't worry, Iwa-chan. When you grow up and you finally become handsome, I'm sure I'll like you too. Hajime blushed violently as he threatened to hit Toru, but the other just laughed, so Hajime huffed and opened the box of chocolates Toru gave him. Inside was a pink cutesy note with lots and lots of hearts, with a handwriting that obviously doesn't belong to a child, written in pink ink because why not? Dear Dakura-san, I really like you. You are handsome and cute and smart and kind and rich. I love you, please be my boyfriend. Love, Kara. Hajime gave Toru a deadpan look. Why did you cry when I didn't give you chocolates when you only gave me what others gave you? Hajime showed Toru the note, which made Toru laugh sheepishly. I was going to buy you your own, but then you came and I panicked. Here, I'll share all the others I got, so don't be mad, Iwa-chan. Hajime grumbled to himself but still accepted the offered chocolates with a light blush dusting his cheeks. From that day on, it became tradition for them to share the chocolates Toru receives during Valentine's Day. And when one day Hajime received his own chocolate, the bitter taste of jealousy in his mouth made Toru realize that the day has come. The day he finally likes Hajime. End of flashback. Looking back, Toru wondered where it all went wrong. Because he didn't just imagine the good times, the times when he did see and experience that Hajime truly loved him. And no matter how much Toru tries to remember, he just can't figure out when everything changed. But everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Almost all the happy memories he has was with Hajime, was because of Hajime. The reason why he held on for so long was because of the past, so he ignored all the bad things in the present. How can I move on when everything I do, everything I am is a part of him? Koa. Toru zoned back into the present when Atsumu spoke again. He looked up and saw the sadness, the pity, the bitterness, and most of all, the understanding, in Atsumu's eyes. I know it's hard to say what you feel when you've been made to think that it's annoying or wrong, but I'm your best friend Koa. I can understand what you're feeling and what you're going through, but only to an extent. I'm not a mind reader or an empath. He's right. When you're made to think or feel that your emotions are annoying, wrong, and invalid, it becomes harder and harder to actually express them. You're gonna forcefully swallow down your emotions to keep them from spilling out. Until one day you just stop feeling altogether. Until one day you just can't feel anymore. But I'm not gonna force you to talk about it if you don't want to. Toru looked up to the sight of Atsumu smiling at him. He was getting frustrated with himself for not being able to say what he's thinking and feeling. He's my best friend. It shouldn't be too hard to talk to him. But Toru's afraid and guilty that he was thinking about the past, the good old days, and he could feel himself breathe a sigh of relief at Atsumu's words, making him even more frustrated. So how about we make our own communication system? Before he could ask what he meant, the blonde was already standing up and walking out the door and into his own bedroom. Toru took a moment to stand up and follow, but he eventually did, but not without a generous amount of confusion. When Toru reached Atsumu's bedroom, the blonde was rummaging through his desk, so Toru stood behind him and went on his tiptoes to see over Atsumu's shoulder. Color pens? Yup. Atsumu pulled Toru down to sit. If you can't say what you're feeling, then you don't have to say it. Not with words at least. We can use color pens. Toru skeptically picked the blue-colored pen and raised an eyebrow at the smiling Atsumu. See here. Atsumu took the blue pen from Toru's hands and waved it around. If you're feeling down or have a problem, or even if you're just bored and you want to hang out, you can come and draw on my hand. He opened his notebook and went to the last page where, and Toru smiled in amusement at it, is filled with random scribbles. Proof that Atsumu doesn't pay attention during lessons. What made Toru snort though were the small caricatures of what he presumes are Atsumu's pathetic attempt at drawing his teachers. Atsumu smirked at Toru before he started leafing through the pages to look for a blank one. If you want some advice, or just my opinion on anything, you can use the color blue. Atsumu drew a small heart on the paper. Toru snorted. A heart? Really? What are you for? It's Valentine's, bitch. Stop being such an antagonist. Atsumu rolled his eyes as he edited his heart drawing and turned it into a dick. There. Is that good enough for your dirty-minded ass, bitch? Atsumu let the blue pen go and picked up another pen, orange this time, and used it to draw another dick on the paper, ignoring Toru while he was at it. You can vent, and if you want me to just listen, you can use orange. If you don't want to talk and just want to hang out and relax, then you can use green. If you don't want to talk but want distraction by going out, then you can use yellow. Toru could feel his eyes water, and his throat tighten at the thoughtfulness of Atsumu's actions. The blonde could have just forced him to talk. Maybe it would have been good for him too, but no. Atsumu thought of something else so Toru could communicate his feelings. He never thought watching his best friend draw tiny dicks would make him happy. If you're having a really bad day and want to be left alone, then you can use purple. I also won't sleep in your room during those days. But what if I still want you in my room? Toru pouted. Yeah, there might be some days when he wants to be left completely alone, but there are days when he wants to cuddle too. And Atsumu is very huggable. Then you can use red. And I'll come cuddle with you and I won't ask questions. Toru nodded with a smile, satisfied. Of course you can still change your color if you want to. It's not like we only feel one emotion per day, and why are you crying? Toru laughed and wiped at his tears while shaking his head. Wow. You must really be sexually frustrated if the sight of small colorful penises made you so happy you cried. Shut up. This is your fault. Toru made grabby paws at Atsumu, so the blonde leaned forward and embraced Toru, letting the older cry on his shoulders. "Cool, I just showed." Atsumu whined and Toru just rubbed his tears and snot even more on the blonde shirt, which made Atsumu try and fail to shake him off. Eventually he just gave up as Toru was attached to him like a leech and they just embraced in comfortable silence. "You know, when I said I wanted to be an artist so great that my art could send people to tears, this isn't what I meant." Toru slapped Atsumu's shoulder as he pulled himself away from their embrace, making Atsumu laugh. "So does everything sound good, Rainbow? Really?" Toru laughed while Atsumu shrugged. "What? There's no such thing as too much gay. In fact, the world could and should be gayer." Toru laughed again. "It sounds great, Tsumu. Thank you." Toru smiled at the blonde, his voice ringing in gratefulness. "But you should use it too so you don't force yourself to say what you feel. I know it's hard for you too." "Okay. Oh, then we should also make a system if in case my color is yellow and your color is purple. I don't want to invade your space if you don't want me to. We can just go out the next day then." "What? No. I don't want to disregard your feelings too. How about a middle ground? We can use green if that happens." "No. Then we'd both be unsatisfied. You can't fully relax and I'll be bored. That's why we divide it. You can relax first so you'll have the energy to go out the next day." "Yeah, but feelings are unpredictable, Tsumu. What if today my color is purple and tomorrow it's still purple? What then? Don't tell me you're just going to keep ignoring your feelings to cater to mine." Atsumu tried to interrupt but Toru's not finished. "Or what if you're yellow and I'm purple today but tomorrow we switch colors? What then? Well, you can just hang out with someone else. And leave you here all alone? No way. Babe, the point of purple is that we want to be alone, right? Alone in your room. Not bothering you. But still close enough that when you need me, I'll be there. If my color is purple and yours is yellow, are you gonna leave me here to hang out with Osamu?" Atsumu pouted because he couldn't answer that because there is no way he'll leave Toru alone with only his thoughts as his company. "Fine. We'll figure that out later. For now though, we should label the pens so we don't forget what each color stands for." Atsumu went to grab tape but then realized something. "We should have our own colored pens then. Do you want to go out and buy some tomorrow? It could be our Valentine's date. And let myself be surrounded by sappy couples? Yeah. Maybe we'll see other people's gimmicks and we can judge and rate them from actually wholesome to cringe." Toru laughed and Atsumu grinned. "So are you in?" Toru smiled as he reached for the yellow pen. "What? Just decide tomorrow. Who knows if you change your mind? Then I'll just change my color tomorrow." "Oh please. You'd probably be guilty of changing the color and then force yourself to go out." Toru huffed and removed the pen cap before leaning forward and trapping Atsumu in an embrace so he could draw a huge yellow penis on the blonde's forehead. "Cool, what the fuck? I already did my skincare routine." Toru laughed and stuck his tongue out at him, which gave Atsumu the opportunity to swipe the blue pen off the table and trap Toru to draw an even bigger dick on his cheek. "Tsumu." Toru rubbed at his cheek in vain while the blonde laughed. Then the two of them made eye contact with each other and tension filled the air. Then at once, they both lunged for the table and tried to grab as many pens as they can. Atsumu got more since he was closer to the desk so Toru ran for the door, Atsumu on his heels. Once they are in the living room where they have more room to run around in, they brandished their pens like swords and tried to draw as many lines as they can on each other's body. Needless to say, Tiger and Shintaro were confused when they got out of the shower and saw Toru and Atsumu, with seemingly infinite lines and even some incomplete drawings of penises all over their skin, wrestling on the floor trying to slice and stab each other with color pens. Oh, and Kevin was cheering them on. They got even more confused when they got pulled into the fray and can't remember how. Exhausted, they all collapsed on the carpeted floor with smiles on their faces. And they fell asleep like that as well. Streaks of color on their skins and all.